Welcome to the Dixie Doggers podcast. We're here to share knowledge and heritage. We hope y'all enjoy. For the best cut gear in the business, get with Dave Williams at Southern Cross Cut Gear. www.hogdoggear.com.
If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. Phil Wilson with UC Hunting Properties, 678-791-3483.
777 Kennels, Advanced K9 Nutrition. Vertex K9 Essentials, Advanced K9 Nutrition, beneficial to all breeds. You can contact them at 979-206-3050. Everybody, throw it down here with Dixie Doggers. Yeah. Feeling good this evening. Talking to a man with the D. Shit, I couldn't pronounce his last name. And normally I got this big old spiel where we're going to all this. This is my partner, Hunter D, from the big SC. So what's going on, Hunter?
What's happening, fellas?
Shit, I don't know it. Oh,
That's
man.
right.
All right, so tell everybody out there in the dog world who you are, where you from, what all you got going.
My name's Hunter Dutruch. I live in Simpsonville, South Carolina. That's the upstate side of South Carolina. And we've got cur dogs, Catahoulas that we run, and wounded game recovery and track deer in the state of South Carolina and the state of Georgia. And then also Louisiana, Mississippi.
Hell yeah. So you all over the world.
All over. We moving. Keep it moving.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And so how did you get into this, the recovery part or dogs in general? You know, just a lifelong thing?
So my dad's 17 years older than me, so we grew up pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was younger, he had shot a couple of deer one year with his bow. Couldn't find them, and he's like, "Damn, we need to get a dog." So for my second birthday in 1996, he bought a lab, and we were going to train it for. No one else had a dog around us. There was no phones back then or anything, and so we were going to train him to track deer. And I was obviously too young, so I had that dog from 96 to 2011, and I was the kind of dog, that's the dog I grew up with kind of, my whole life and kind of got me going. So we trained him up, and back then, like I said, nobody had phones. There wasn't no Garmin's or anything like that. So we got him for ourselves to use as a tool, and we didn't know anything about tracking for the public, and we didn't, we weren't really trying to do that back then. But we tracked every deer we shot. We put the dog on, and there'd be people waiting at our truck or paging Dad's beeper or something. And we were, everybody. We were the only person with a dog, so we were just kind of tracking, all over. And so we went on from there. And as we got older, we didn't hunt him much, and we started hunting another piece of property with some good friends, and they had some really, really good dogs. A whole nother caliber of dogs, bay dogs, and they really. I saw some things with those dogs that, I thought I knew what a real dog was until I saw that, and they were baying deer and all kind of stuff, and I was like, man, that's awesome. And so I got my first dog after that, probably in 2012. My first dog for myself, and she was really good, and kind of went on through life, and my grandparents bred some labs, and I got one of those, and that was right before we were going to move to South Carolina. We were living in Houston, so I moved to South Carolina. I've been here about 8 years, and this is kind of how I got into tracking for the public. So I'm up here, I'm working out of town, and I'm coming home on the weekends. Like, I don't know a single soul. I'm just trying to get outdoors, trying to, do something. I didn't know at this point. I wasn't big on social media. I didn't know tracking for the public was a thing, anything like that. So one Friday night, I went on every deer hunting page I could find that had to do with South Carolina. It was just like, I got a dog. If anybody needs some help, I'd love to, help you out or whatever. And I met another fellow named Julio, and they had just started a network called South Carolina Tracking Dogs at the time. And I was the first tracker on that group. And we've been going for about 8 years now. And that's literally how I've met everybody in the state of South Carolina in the last 8 years. And that's how I started tracking for the public. I didn't know it was a thing. We just did it, you know. It was another day. We just had a dog and we tracked deer. And then it kind of, you know, blew up. And it is what it is now. And it's a boom. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Yeah, sounds like a boom for real. I mean, like if you're going covering 4 states, man, I can't even cover 4 counties.
I mean, I track. I've got a good business partner. He handles our trucks that we run, and I kind of all day, all night, every day. I track deer 7 days a week, all day, all night.
Wow.
Up until from about September 15th to December, and I'll go to Mississippi and track down there from Mississippi. I mean, from December and January, every day. It's
wow, that's pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
Like I know, like you said, we were talking earlier, and you said you've listened to the podcast and stuff, and so we've tracked, but nothing on that kind of level at all ever. We've always had a dog that'll find a dead deer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Good old gut shot went 40 yards. Yeah, we got him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I find it really, it's exhilarating to know that you have a service out there like this and it's utilized that much. There's so many people that are against dogs and all the shit that they do. There's so many deer hunters that are against it. This is just another opening, another doorway that you can show, you can showcase the skills of dogs and the correct usage of them.
That's right. We've got a really good group up here in South Carolina. I mean, we kind of, it was brand new. Coming from Mississippi and Louisiana, everybody has tracking dogs. We've got 16 dogs, I think, in the whole state of South Carolina. We've got that in one county back in Mississippi or Louisiana or up there. It's just newer over here, and we've got a really, really, really good group. It's a very family-oriented group. We got a constant group message. It's some of my best friends that I made up here, and we got something good going, and it's fun. No drama, no competition. It's it's a really good thing we got going up here, and I think we found 700 and something deer last year in South Carolina. So I mean, it's conservation.
Yeah,
good. 700 tax field plus.
Yes, that's a lot.
Yep,
that's a lot. I mean, no matter how many people are doing it,
right?
It doesn't matter. That's a lot of deer.
Yep, that's a lot of tags being filled. There wouldn't have been.
Yeah, because I mean, now I told Nate, I said there's a question I wanted to ask, and I don't know what in the hell I was watching or listening or even reading. I don't know, but there was a guy, and the other guy was interviewing him. He said, so you're a little different on after the shot. And he's like, yeah. He said, so tell us about it. He said his deal was, everybody, you're kind of told, if you're bow hunting, give it 20 minutes, give it 30 minutes before you get down look. He said, why? He said, if you don't see that deer pile up, he said, why do that? Why even look? Why? He said, give it all the time you can. He said, preferably give it enough time to lay down and do what it needs to do. He said, go ahead and call you a dog in and get it found.
Yeah.
He said, so how do you feel about that? Like if somebody's out, especially in the bow hunting side of things, if you don't see the deer pile up, wait 30 minutes and then go out there and try to find it. And if you don't find any blood or if you can't find the deer yourself, then call the dog, or what do you think about it?
I expect people to look for their deer as I would myself.
Yeah.
Kind of analyze the shot that you took and see what you think about it. And then, you know, I want you to get down and go look at the hit site. And if you've got a pretty good blood trail and you feel pretty confident about it, go 200 yards if you can follow that blood trail. But once you get to about 200 yards, he's probably not hard shot. And he's probably not double longed.
Yeah.
So you might want to start reevaluating at that point. Do I need to back out for more time? Do I need to call a dog into bed? Do I need to, whatever the situation may be? But if you get to about 200 yards on blood, he's not double lunged and not hard shot. So I would probably start reevaluating. But I expect people to go and look for your deer. Just don't, don't bring the whole camp party out there and just, kind of wait till we find the deer, then bring the camp party.
That's right. That's right. I was just curious.
But I mean,
it was just something different. I'd never heard anybody that hunted put it that way. Really, it's like, man, why even do that? And I was like, well, I guess it makes sense. I don't know, but it's like, hell, I don't know. And this was coming from a guy who was strictly a bow hunter, and I was like, well, I don't know. Just that's why I wanted to ask you that. I was like, because. How many people are really like, if you got a nice buck, you feel like the shot was good and you've waited 30, 45 minutes, I'm going to go look.
Absolutely. Me too.
Yeah. I might lie and be like, no, I didn't go look. No, I'm going to go
check it out for sure. Yeah. I'm going to go check it out.
That's exactly right. Well, I was just curious on that part. So do y'all get to track on lead or off lead?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Quick thanks to the supporters of the Dixie Doggers podcast.
Light Hounds.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Phil Wilson with UC Hunting Properties.
Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company.
777 Kennels Advanced Canine Nutrition.
And the old Boars N Broads.
So we track off lead, and it's a funny story. When I first moved up here and met Julio, who started the South Carolina Network deal, he was they had tracked. It was Julio and Brian, and they tracked with a leash. They were just getting into it, and it was like, yeah, we track with a leash, and I was like, I don't understand what you mean by that. Like, I never heard of a dog tracking a deer on a leash. Like, it was new to me, and he was like, yeah, we track on a leash, whatever, and so I went to Cabela's and got a 20-foot lead, and I tracked my second deer in South Carolina on a lead, and that was the last deer I've ever tracked on a lead.
Yeah. I just didn't know if it was like any stipulations or not, because some states have it.
Not in South Carolina. It's common. It's kind of a gray area. There's no set laws, but we're kind of trying to make sure it's shaped in the right way,
Oh yeah.
We're working with the wildlife fisheries and all that, and but it's a gray area right now. There's no laws, but Georgia, it's legal off lead. Mississippi, Louisiana, it's legal off lead. I know down in Mississippi you can only use 2 dogs, and you have to use less than a .45 caliber to dispatch, I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still better than on a leash.
Yeah, man. Did we have to be
I wouldn't do it
years ago or no? I couldn't remember if we.
No.
Somewhat.
I don't think we ever had to.
I don't think Alabama had to. It wouldn't have mattered because I ain't no way. I just like you. I was like, well, I'm on, because I had one dog. I was like, trying to train him, get him all this. I was like, I had a 30-foot check cord on him. No, that'll never happen again. Same way. Like, nope.
Hey, one and done.
Yep, that was it. I call it the twofer. I did my first and my last all in one.
That's right. And so when I moved up here, I never had a Garmin system or anything like that until I moved up here and was finding out about it. Like, it was really booming across the country for this public tracking deal, and I got my first Garmin, a 100, 8 years ago, and I feel like that made me go downhill a little bit for a few years because before that, I was using a cowbell or I would just, they didn't have a GPS. They would just roll out and I'd hit the horn 3 times when I was ready to go and they'd hop in the back. Like it was just a little different. I don't know. I guess I got more nervous when I got the Garmin. I don't know. Out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. I'm not sure, but I went downhill for a few years. Not downhill, but
it changed.
I don't know. I learned a lot. It changed. I learned a lot, and so I had a lab my grandparents bred, and it wasn't a tracking dog. It was a pet. It was kind of a meat dog. I duck hunted with it, and then moved up here, and there's no ducks, and I'd always track deer with it, with all my dogs, just as, for myself or whatever. So I moved up here and then it became a tracking dog. And I'd get home from work every day, 7 days a week. At this point, I was working full time and on a crew. I'd get home, pull in, I'd load that lab up, and we'd go track 3 a night and get home whatever time, 7 days a week. And then I figured out, people aren't really calling to find dead deer. Like, we weren't finding a whole lot of dead deer. This lab was not a great dog. I mean, got a lot of heart, just wasn't the most athletic, and it wasn't a bay dog. And it was looking to catch, and it wasn't a catch dog either.
Yeah.
So I got back into Catahoulas, and we went from there. We've been rocking with them since. I don't know how many we have, way too many. And they've completely changed, they might not be for everybody, but they're for us. And they fit our lifestyle year round, and they've completely changed the game for us. Free cast, and they're gonna go get hooked up somewhere or get treed on a dead deer, and it's been a completely different ball game for us. So we love Catahoulas. That's all we got. We got a pile of Catahoulas, and we got one mixed blackmouth cur, and that's mainly what we run now and have been for the last several years. And it's done us really well, and we've enjoyed them.
Sweet. Now on the Catahoulas, do they bay a dead deer?
They don't bay a dead deer.
Okay.
They some of them are. My best dog won't chew on it or nothing like that unless it's ripped open. She'll just kind of lay with it. She's real weird.
Yeah.
She doesn't really care about a dead deer. She'll kind of just lay next to it. I know show treed. That's about all they'll do some of them will eat on them, but they don't do a whole lot to a dead one, but they'll stick with it until we get there.
I got you. That's kind of the way Lou was doing. He, if it was alive, he'd bay. And he, if he tried to move, he'd catch it. He didn't just catch it and throttle it, but he worked out pretty good. And we wound up losing him. Damn car run him over while we were hunting.
Damn, that's my worst. A vehicle is
yes.
That's the only thing I'm worried about is the damn vehicle, really.
Well, he had got where he was getting. You could take and coon hunt him, squirrel hunt him, work cows with him, hog hunt him, track deer with him. It don't matter. And we were hog hunting, and that son-of-a-bitch has got where he was rolling deep. I mean, there was times where he's 6-7 miles, and you're like, what are you doing? He was just a big country dog, and he got on we knew there was a big boar hog, and I said, I know it's going to be tough to stop him. Well, we thought he did have him stopped, and we were trying to get out and get around, and we were losing signal, picking him up and down, and when we finally got around there, we seen, which he had got run over. But he was like that on the blood track, and he took to that shit, man. He really took to it very, very well.
He did.
He was a kimmer cur. He was a kimmer cur. He took to it. Very
I got a
good.
buddy up here that one of my buddies up here that just started tracking with us about 2 years ago. He's got a beautiful kimmer cur. He's the only person I know that tracks with one. He's a plodding kimmer cur guy. He's got a beautiful dog. And supposedly he's doing really, really good. I'd like to go and check him out.
Now, when you put those dogs down, do any of yours bark on track?
I've got one. She's a little young, wild, and free, and yeah, she will. When it gets real hot, or they jump him, she'll yip her way out of there. Pretty good. But they're pretty much silent until they if they bark, they've laid eyes on him at least.
I got
He
you.
might have left him out the country, but they've seen him.
I was just curious because like we've got another young Kimmer as a male, and he wants to cold trail, man, constantly. You know, like I said, he's young.
Yeah.
He's got a nose it's a whole nother level. It's hound style nose, you know. And but he opens constantly. And so I was just curious if you had any. Well, now we hadn't tried him on blood trailing, so don't know what he'll do, but have a feeling he's going to get a chance at it anyway.
Yeah, none of mine open, and I had a blue tick female, another one of my buddies, and we partnered in some stuff. He's got a lot of blue ticks, and we've bred, and none of his blue ticks open up either. So I don't know that I've ever been behind a opening dog on a blood trail. So I don't know. I don't know if it hurt anything, but I just never have.
I've never heard of anybody that had one so far.
No,
and that's something that's not really talked about a lot. That, as far as I know,
that's a good point. That's a good point. When an open dog hits a scent, they're going to open up, and I've never seen one on a blood trail. That's
I mean, even bloodhound. I'm talking about like
point.
cold nose hounds are not opening up on wounded game. Now we're getting into the depth of the Dixon Douglas podcast. Now you get to go into the dark side of my mind. When I lay awake at night, it's not Pornhub for me, guys. It's just this son of a bitch barking on track. That's what it is for me.
I hear you. That's what keeps me up at night too.
Man. No, I just, the more we talked about it, I just got to thinking, I was like, you know what? I don't know that anybody's ever had one, you know. We'll have to ask Ricky.
My buddy Jamie Holler up here, he's got a dog named Spud. He's all over YouTube. You can check him out.
I know that. I know Spud.
Now Spud might open on track. I'm not 100%, but Spud would probably be the only dog that I would know that has opened on track. He that dog is amazing.
Is that one of y'all's dogs there?
He opens a good bit. Yeah, Jamie's right here in South Carolina with us.
Wow. I've watched quite a few videos of those Spud on him, man.
Old Spud. Jamie's a great guy. Spud's a freak that everybody's looking for. You know, and Jamie knows what he has, and he's gonna live out his time and do him right. But Spud's a freak.
Wow.
He's one of those dogs. But I believe he might open a little bit on track. But that's about the closest I know to one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty. That's a good question though. You know, next time you talk to some of the other guys, bring that up and see.
You got me thinking. Yeah, you got my wheels turning on that.
And for guys out there listening that are familiar with blood tracking or trailing and recovery and all that stuff, if you know of a dog, and I don't mean like open when it's super hot or they got it jumped. I mean like when you put him on the track from the site, is he cold trailing and opening up like like he's running any other hound would be running. That's just something interesting. Now it's kind of curious about it.
Yeah.
We got to get down to the bottom of that.
I think some of mine, they're so dang hot. I don't know if they slowed down long enough to bark on one. I got kind of a mixture of pack. I got a couple of Catahoulas with some real big noses, and this is something else I learned. I don't know. I thought I wanted a dog to come out the box and kick rocks, and get yonder, which I still do. I want a dog that does that, but I had to realize that, sometimes it just takes a little while to work this track out. I might need to sit back a little bit, and I learned a lot. I would walk in there like, man, why is this dog hung up right here? And I'd walk in there and the dog would be 10 foot from the deer.
Yep.
And it'd be so thick just trying to figure out where it is. And I'd walk, if I'd have just sat back a little bit and been more patient, the dog would have made the deer right there and it'd been over with. But, that's something that I kind of had to figure out was, I want one to blow and go and get it done real quick, but it don't work like that on these, you might, because it's nothing for us to, there's so many tracks and so little of us. I might not get to you for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I might not see you till the next day, and that's just, that's the quickest I can get to you. And you might not just get out the truck and blow and go on that. It might take a little bit. That's something I had to learn. I thought they should go quicker, but I'm not the one out there smelling the track, and so that was something we learned.
Yeah, that can be, put into any scenario.
Any scenario. That's right.
We got old hound dog, and he is fast moving the track, but starting a track, he's slow. If that makes sense. Sometimes he's slow. Sometimes he don't. He gets out. He might piddle around a little bit. He just takes his time. But that dude has been like 100% accurate. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna get hooked.
Yep.
He's going the distance, unless we go cut him off, unless we stop him. So we had to learn the same thing. It's like, man, sometimes you got to slow down and remember that we're not the ones smelling it. No matter what we want him to do, we're not the dogs.
That's 100% right.
Yeah. Me and Rodney argue all the time. He's like, well, look at that trail. They need to go down there. And the dog wants to go on the other side of the road. And I'm like, well, they want to go over there. Boy, he'll call them dogs and he'll try to get them going. Hell, they'll go down there and circle about 20 yards and I do the same stuff. We're all guilty of it. And
oh my God, that's not the only way to learn.
Yeah. And so then sometimes just like you kind of just sit back and laugh a little bit, like, well, I guess they didn't want to go that damn way. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna go where they want to go.
That's right.
And once I just, I don't know, I guess I've ruined them so much. I had to just sit back a little bit, damn, and let them do their own thing. And once I did that, I was doing a whole lot better. Because I was trying, I don't know, I wanted a dog that would hunt for himself, but I guess I was trying to hunt for it. I don't know where to go, and I don't know where this track is, and once I sat back a little bit, things got a whole lot better for us.
Boy, and I'm telling you, in the little bit of recovery stuff that we've done, deer do some crazy shit.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable!
It's so wild. Like you get there, and the hunter says, "Okay, I shot him," and he went, and that deer went right there and laid down. And there's a pile of blood, and they said, then I seen it get up, and it took off over the hill.
Yeah.
Well, hell, that son of a bitch would be 50 yards behind you. You're like, holy shit, that's a complete, and we literally had that scenario last year with the dogs. I was like, man, it's just so wild, and they're so tough. These deer, they're tough.
Oh, they're tough, and they're unbelievably tough.
They are.
And they're still in survival mode. They're thinking survival, so there's no tell. There's been stuff that I've seen that I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I've called my dogs off of things because I'm like, hey, no way. Like, hey, there is no way.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, every time the dog's right. I'm wrong about every time.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, it's usually my fault.
That's right. That's right.
That's a handler error most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not all. 99% of the time, probably.
Yeah, that's that's about what I go with about 99% of the time. Every now and then, dog.
I know. Yeah, that's right.
So, is there a certain line of Catahoulas that you guys are running? Or is it some that y'all just bred up and kind of kept yourselves? Or
so everything that we've got right now, we've got from friends.
Okay.
But we've got about enough now to where we can last us the rest of our life. About maybe a couple outcrossers here and there, but no, we've got I've got a couple from a guy named Randall Duvall, and I've got a couple from a guy named Jay Foles that I've got to be good friends with, through they're doing this kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
they've got some really good dogs. And come to find out, so my grandmother raised Catahoulas growing up. But come to find out, my best dog that I got here at the house, I've got 2 dogs, and they both go back to my grandmother Savannah Ice dog from 1993. She goes back there 8 times.
That's
So
pretty
it's kind of
wild.
crazy how that worked out. Yeah.
So
And I didn't
you're in
find out
South
about this
Carolina.
till-
So you got those dogs
I'm
in
in
South
South-
Carolina.
No. None of these
okay.
dogs came from South. I'm the only person in South Carolina that runs a cur dog.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just because the other
And,
people hadn't caught on yet. They will.
Hey, yeah, they will. I've got actually one friend that I got her that tracks with us. Her name's Ella. I got her a puppy, and she's absolutely loving her. She's about 6 months old. But she's the only other person that's got a Catahoula so far, and yeah, they ain't seen one yet. But it was kind of crazy how it worked out. Yeah, my dog goes back to my grandmother's line of dogs from '93. She had sold her dogs, and then a fella has been breeding them the last 30 plus years and done a really good job with them. And it's kind of crazy how it worked out. And I didn't know about any of this until I had the dog about 2 years, and he reached out to me on Facebook, and it was really crazy how it all came together.
That sounds like it. That's pretty wild, dude.
Yeah. They're just
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll cut you off.
No, I was just saying they're nothing special. They're just they work for us. You know, they might not work for the next person, but they work for our lifestyle, and we take them all across the country, and you know, they kind of just get in where they fit in.
Now
they work. And
now where you live at now where you're tracking at, you know, you got these 4 states. South Carolina and Georgia, they're probably in areas they're more alike than anything else. And then Mississippi and Louisiana, which we know deep South Mississippi and North Louisiana, a lot of that's pretty similar. Then you got up through where the river's at and the Delta area and all that. So what's the difference in tracking in, and I'm just going out on a limb. I'm sure you went to all these different locations here, but like, what's the difference in tracking out South Carolina at a higher elevation, maybe a little more drier air, versus Louisiana or South Mississippi with, a lot more humidity and completely different terrain?
So where I track in South Carolina, it's kind of like a Weyerhaeuser timberland kind of set up. It's rolling hills and pine trees and a hardwood bottom. So it's a lot like central Mississippi.
Yeah.
You know, you get on a piece of a Weyerhaeuser track, you got cut over and a hardwood bottom. Like I got a lease in central Mississippi that looks just like a lease I have in South Carolina. You know, it's both Weyerhaeuser actually. So that kind of does look similar. The only thing that really looks a little different is if you get up into the mountains, which I don't go into the mountains a whole lot anymore. We got some guys up there now, and the only thing that kind of looks a little different is the river bottom, the Mississippi River bottom that I track in. It's flat and swampy, not a bunch of water, but there's a lot of sloughs and lakes and whatnot. But that's about the only thing that looks a little different. It all kind of everything I track in is really pretty similar. Timberland and hardwood bottoms.
I got you. Well, that's what I saw. I mean, I didn't know if it was like harder on the dogs in one area than versus the other area, but I guess that would probably be more along the lines of what the track is.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar terrain. I mean, it's obviously a little different, but it's pretty similar, and it's nice to be able to move them around a little bit and
Yes.
see what they've got in a different setting.
Man, that's what we preach.
Yep.
And I never was like that. I just started that the last 10 years. Like, these dogs do really good here for where I'm at. And then like, but what are they going to do in Texas or South Carolina or whatever, So we started we started traveling, and I tell you, you will really see what dogs are doing what.
you'll see what you got, what you think you got.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's been a few times where I'm like, yep, that somebody's probably ain't coming home with me.
And I think that's for every game with dogs, you know.
Yeah.
Like coon hunting, you might go down the river in Mississippi and be in pig coon. If you come up here to South Carolina, you might have to travel a mile before you strike a track. You know, and then in Mississippi, you're not going to go 100 yards without striking a track down on the river.
Yep.
You know, it's just, you really find out. I enjoy doing it. You know, it's different kind of hunting with your dog, and that's what I enjoy. So I think it, you know, it can't hurt. I don't think.
No.
So that's what we try and do.
So, and y'all, you branched out and y'all started doing some coon hunting and stuff with the curs as well, or y'all have hounds, or?
No, we don't. The Catahoulas are strictly deer tracking.
I got you.
Yep.
Yeah. Some people I ain't gonna say some people, some dogs are okay to dual purpose or utilize for whatever. But honestly, I think if you leave one and it has a specialty, it just seems like it's going to be a better dog in the long run. You know,
no doubt. And I don't know, we kind of consider all our dogs meat dogs. They kind of get in how they fit in and live our lifestyle. If if we go bait cows one day, they might go bait cows or do whatever. And but they just track deer. Whatever else they want to go get, that's fine too. Yeah. But they mainly just track deer. That's about most of the older ones too. That's about all they care about. So there's no. But if they want to get after something in the off season or do whatever they want, I mean we're good with that too. But they most of as they get older, they usually don't.
Yeah, they get it all out of their system when they're younger, and
yeah, I mean that's just what it is.
That. I've seen a lot of dogs.
I wish they would. I mean, I've got an older female that I go to the national forest and let them run, and I kind of walk them down the road and get a little exercise. And man, sometimes I want them to go find a coon, go chase an armadillo, do something.
Yeah.
And then they just don't. They don't anymore. So I don't know.
I've had, I couldn't tell you how many guys that have been in the dog game for, decades, and most all of them, because man, we were always big on trash breaking. We don't want our dogs to do this, and that was years ago. And I started realizing, I was like, man, some of these dogs they won't quit, and I feel like I'm going to mess them up more. So I just get frustrated. And I was like, well, I just left it alone. Well, shit.
Yeah.
By the end of the season, they didn't clean that up. They moved on. As long as I put them on what I wanted them to get on, we didn't have any issues.
That's 100% how it's working out with me right now.
So when do y'all start tracking? When you and I were talking earlier, you was telling me some of the dates. So, I mean, in order to track that many deer, and all those hours, how long are you doing this? How many, from when does deer season start where you're at?
So in South Carolina, there's 4 zones 1 through 4. So zones 3 and 4, which will be the low country. I live in the upstate. They open on August 15th. So I might track 1 or 2 in that period. In the upstate, South Carolina, zones 1 and 2, they open September 15th. So I'll start September 15th, and I'll track through about February. And then come February, we'll squirrels, coons, hogs, whatever, kind of that month, and then roll into turkey season.
I got you. That's a lot of tracking.
It is. It's all day, all night. I run all day, all night, every day, 7 days a week. I enjoy it though.
Oh yeah. If you enjoy it, you get to work the dogs and not just that, but you have that many calls, it keeps you busy, and which, do y'all charge a set drop fee and then recovery
So-
fee? Or how do y'all do y'all's?
So I've done it about every other way. You know, when I first started, I did $100 a call. You know, $100. But now I work on straight tips. I don't have any set fee, straight tips. If you don't think I heard anything, that's fine. If you do, that's fine too. I go on straight tips. You know, it's like anybody, you know, that plays any sport or does whatever. We kind of perfect our craft, and it's whatever you think we're worth. You know, we're gonna pull up, looking the part, and having the dogs that we've been working all year. And if you think, you know, whatever you think it's worth, it's tip. I go on straight tips. I work on tips.
Damn. We tried that.
Yep.
Like we did that for a while, and it was.
Now it took 8 years. It took
Yeah.
8 years to go to tips. I've got a lot of really good clientele that took 8 years.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would, if I was just starting out, you know, it might be different.
That's right.
You know, when I was just starting out, it was different. I wasn't going on tips because I don't know that I'd have a dog that was worth $100 when I was starting out. But I've built a really good friendship with a lot of people and got a lot of good clientele, and I've got a lot of new clientele, and you know, I pull up and whatever they think it's worth. You know, they're going to see the same thing I'm seeing. I'm going to drop the dollars. They're going to see them work and see the whole deal, and you know, whatever they think it's worth.
Yeah.
I might have a guy that, you know, tips me nothing, and the next guy might tip me $500. You know, it all kind of works out, and it is what it is. And we're not out here. I have a full-time job too. I just have a good business partner. I can kind of work on the computer during deer season, but you know, we're not doing this for a living. Yeah, we do make a little bit, and it's a help me help you thing. You know, help me raise these dogs and pay for all this equipment and everything, so I can come out and help you on a Tuesday at 9 o'clock when you need some help and no one else is available.
Oh yeah. I mean, I totally get it. Like I said, there are some people that they have no problem tipping you, and they don't mind throwing a few $100s down easy, you know.
Easy. I mean,
there's some that just, of course, there's some that really don't have the money, and I get that, you know, and that's not a big deal either. I'm one of those I can work with about anybody, but we've had several. We wound up getting a lot of trackers in our area, and it got a little crazy, and it has for the past few years. And it went from where, you know, like, you know, I might drive an hour and somebody give me, you know, $50 or $100 or whatever, and, you know, no big deal. Well, then the next time they would call this other person and they would get a $250 drop fee. And I was like, well, dang, you know, and then it got to where it was, everybody was doing that. I was like, yeah. And we charge less than anybody, period. You know, it's pretty much almost it's just gas money, you know, it's pretty much just gas money. And then every now and then, you know, you get on some long tracks or rough and they're hard to work out. And those guys, like you said, they get to see the same thing that you see. And and if they're real people, you know, if they're real hunters and they can respect that, then they're going to give you everything that they can, just like you
Absolutely.
did. You know, so I don't think that's a bad thing at all. You know, you get some places like out in Oklahoma, Texas, Colorado, places like that where they have to call in for tracking, especially like on a lot of those high fences. It's a lucrative business.
Yeah, it's a different
it's a whole different world.
It's a different world. It's a different atmosphere. I mean, I don't know. One thing we try and do, I mean, we're gonna work our butts off when we come out. We're gonna try and be prepared. Have our dogs sharpened up, and we're gonna work our ass off. And that's all we can do. We're gonna give our best, and you know, for whatever it's worth. We're not out here making a living, but whatever tips we get helps us keep moving and helps us, you know, keep sharpening our craft. So that's all it really is. And it does help us. I mean, I'm not helping my partner at work. So, you know, whatever you give me is helping us help you.
Yep.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that I think it's a good thing. And like you said, it's also you've built up a name. You got good dogs. You're professional. So people, if they get on Facebook or get on a website or whatever, and they look up you guys and say, okay, I'm gonna call one of these blood trackers to come out here, they already know,
Yes, sir.
hey, this is what we need to be thinking, and these guys are professional. You know?
Absolutely. If you call us, you're getting a solid team. You know, nobody's perfect. No dog's perfect. You're getting somebody that's going to come out and is going to be a good guy or a good girl, good lady, and they're going to work their ass off. And then that's all you can ask for.
That 100%. That's all you can ask for.
Yep.
If somebody comes out and gives you everything they got, and their dog did all they could do, whether they find
and they're genuine, that's it.
Yeah,
you know, that's all you can ask for.
So, you know, talking about, you know, no dog's perfect, no person's perfect, but of course, what kind of numbers? You said y'all found 700 or so. What do you think the percentage of mortally wounded deer are that y'all go on call? Not ones that you find alive, or you could say the ones that you find alive, but you know they're still going to die, you know, succumb to their injuries. What would be that percentage, you think?
I don't know if this is answering it exactly how you asked it, but and I can't speak for everybody in the state, but for myself, we found 93 deer out of 138, and 68% of those were alive when we found them. So,
okay.
I mean, I guess all 93 I found were mortally wounded, you know?
Yeah.
If a dog can find it, I reckon it's mortally wounded. So, I don't know. I guess about 93 mortally wounded deer.
I got you.
If that answers it.
Well, I mean, it's close enough. I mean, there is no, I don't think there's some of these questions I ask, there's no right or wrong answer. It's
right.
You just answer them to the best of your ability. And I'm asking them to the best of my ability because that's something that we don't know. You know, that's something that we honestly, if you were to tell me there's, you know, 61.7% that were, you don't know that. You know, none of us really know unless you do a autopsy or necropsy on every deer and like, yep, he would have died here in 7 more hours. No, you know, it's just, you found, you know, a greater percentage of the deer that would be mortally wounded because like you said, those deer, well, explain to people how they work off it, that they're not just tracking a bunch of blood through the woods or not sniffing a bunch of blood on the ground.
So the best I can tell, I mean, I'm no scientist, or they've got a lot of other fellas out here that know the whole science better than me, but the best I can tell is, you know, they have an interdigital gland in their hoof that gives off a pheromone whenever they are wounded. So it'd be like any animal in a pack that's wounded, it'd get off the lesser scent, I guess, a wounded scent. And so the dogs are tracking that wounded scent out of that gland. Now, I have heard that blood doesn't have a scent, and I've heard that blood does. I don't know the answer to that, but I do think that along the whole blood trail, there is more than just the interdigital gland. I do think that there's stuff coming off the hide or I don't really know, whatever. I do think there's a little more to the puzzle, and then the dog's kind of putting all that together, tracking the gland and you know, whatever other scent that's coming out of the body. And I think that's mainly what they're tracking.
Have you ever found a deer by smelling it?
I have not.
It's just curious.
I have not.
I have not. I found my first one last year. I know y'all think that's a bunch of Joey bullshit, but it's 100% true.
So I'm hanging out.
Gut shot with the wind in the right direction?
It wasn't even gut shot. That was the strangest
No,
thing.
there was zero wind. Like there was very, very little wind.
So I'd shot the deer that morning, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna leave her leg. I go to my buddy's house, and Joey calls me and he says, "Hey, I'm out here looking for this deer." He's asking like which way it ran, and I was like, I think
No
it
blood trail, no
this
nothing.
way.
Couldn't
He
find
goes,
nothing.
I think I smell it. And like I had my phone
It
on
was over a
speakerphone,
fucking ridge.
and I like look at my buddy Parker and I go, "What's he talking about?" He said, I don't know." And then he goes, and then he started like going and did like a couple of deep breaths.
I was
And
like,
then he
I
walked
can
over the
smell
hill.
it.
He said, "Oh, it's right here." I said, "Oh, ain't no way. Ain't no
I was a
way."
30-yard rig dog, son.
Oh, hound dog.
Yeah, I was like, I cannot explain what it even smelled like. It didn't make any sense, but I was like, what? I said, that smells weird. I was like,
He took a couple
that's
sniffs
it.
and he walked over the hill. And he was like,
what about
"Oh,
that
it's
night
right
we was
here."
down there at Marc Jordan's? And I was like, there's a boar hog right here. I said, he just crossed a few minutes ago. Mark looked at me and said, oh my, okay, whatever.
I've smelled the pigs. I'd
Yeah.
never smelled the deer.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I've smelled a pig now.
I can
I've
smell
never
that
smelled
deer.
a deer.
I was like, dude,
That's
if I could
impressive.
smell this son bitch while I'm out, I take my bow, be sliding around. Yeah, I got you now, boys. So, no, but it is true. I did smell it, but that's like you were talking about, like with the blood, like not having a smell, and maybe way more factors playing into it than just the pheromones. I think they're
Yeah.
I feel like 100% there's more because I smelled that myself.
I agree. I mean, I think there's more than just the pheromone, and I don't know the answer to it, but there's something that those dogs absolutely love, and it just changes my dog's whole attitude. I don't know, they get along whenever they're together, but sometimes they get to that deer and they don't get along. So I don't know. I don't I don't know what. There's some kind of pheromone in there or scent that's throwing them for a loop, because they change their whole attitude. Oh my God, they
So you run 2 at a time?
all mine can do it by themselves. I like to have a solo dog, so
okay.
kind of what I do is what I do with mine. Yes, I do like to run. Well, I got enough dogs that I don't like to leave my dogs in the pen. I like to get them out. So whatever way it works, if I run 1-1-1 or 2-1, just depends on kind of what I've got. I try and keep the dogs fresh, and kind of the different style of dogs also is how I run them. I don't run a bay dog and a catch dog. I run a bay dog. I prefer a bay dog. I like a dog that's going to bark. I like a dog that's going to stand back and going to truly bay one. But I don't know how you pick that. So I've got some that do a little bit of both. But I won't run a catch dog and a bay dog together. If I run 2, I'll either run 1 solo bay dog or I'll run 2 bay dogs. They kind of work together baying. I don't run a catch dog and a bay dog, one that's going to bay and then one that's going to try and catch, because I feel like in my experience, once they start putting teeth on it, you're going to do that, you better have them caught. I don't want to run around the world, because the more you do that, the more they're going to run. If you're going to catch him, if you want to be a man, let's go ahead and catch him. If not, stand back and let's bay him, and I'll step in there and finish him. And so I kind of base it off that. I got a few dogs that do different things, but about 2 dogs is what I run. Sometimes I'll run a 3rd dog, and it'll be a puppy, and I'll kind of let it free run. But with my puppies, I usually don't drop them on a place unless it's really, I've got enough room to where I don't want to have to tone a puppy. I want a lot of go and a little no. So I try and I'll take them out as much as I can when they're really young and put them on as many confirms as I can, and then I'll take them when they're young, and then I'll lay them up for a month and let them get, whether they can physically handle it. And if we got a big enough property where I can cut them off, or there's no road issues or property lines, I'll let them run with the big dogs, and I'll start singling them out the following year when they get a little bit older. But I don't like to stop them, so I try and kind of strategically plan that. But just a little bit of everything. Usually two dogs, 1 dog, 3 dogs, whatever.
Yeah.
If I don't have anything for the day, I might dump every dog I got just so they can get a little exercise.
Let them all get some time in. Yeah. Now,
yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, I'm no trainer or anything. A lot of people say, you want to just by himself. Well, I don't have enough time to run one by himself all the time. And my theory is they're going to learn more out in the field than they are in the box or the pen. So
yep.
I'll drop them and I'll single them out when they get old enough to be singled out. And I do like for everyone to be able to do it by themselves. But, the first 2 years, they might not be able to do it by themselves. They might be a pack. I might just jam them in there with a couple, and they'll learn what they learn. And, I feel like that's better than sitting in the box of the pen. That's just kind of how we roll.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, you take them as much as possible. Used to, man, I would take, I'd take pups every single time I went. But I never had a lot of pups. Now we have more pups and young dogs than we've ever had. And so now it's kind of had to pick and choose, but we're always taking at least a couple with us. Really, once they hit that 6 to 8 month old mark, really got to start taking them with us. What kind of age are you looking for? And what are you looking for at certain ages in these pups and young dogs? What do you want them to show you at 6 months old? And how, which puppies, how are you picking the pup? How are you saying, okay, like, you're paying attention to certain traits or characteristics?
I like a dog with a little bit of brains and a lot of go. I feel like you can't take anything out of one, but you can, you can't put anything in one, but you can take a lot out. So I like a dog that'll go and a dog with a lot of brains, and I can mold everything else. I kind of let them free run for their first year of their life. Let them be a puppy. Let them go. Let them do whatever. I've had one. I got one little wild gyp, and this was on my own property, on my own deer, and we cut them out, and I cut my dog out, my cousin's dog out, it's off ours, and I cut this little gyp out, and she's gonna kick rocks in your face, and she's gonna get up on something, and we're still figuring out what's the right thing, but she done bait a couple things, and we didn't have the deer bait, and we killed the deer on the third bay, and she came in there flying in there like a rocket ship, and I don't know what she had been chasing, the hogs or something, the other two, and I don't, like I said, I like to turn them out like on a place like that where I don't have to tone them back. They're going to get it figured out, and then I have no problem. I'm glad you're going and on something. I want you to go get busy. Go. You got to figure it out, and that's kind of how I do a lot of my puppies. I call it socializing to the woods. We spend a lot of time with our dogs. We take them all across the country with us, and they get in how to fit in wherever we are. They live different ways. They might be staked out in one place or in a pen in another for a couple of weeks, and that's just, they kind of figure it out. And we kind of socialize them a lot to the woods. And I guess like a human, the more you're in the woods, the better woodsman you are. And that's kind of how we do with our dogs. More they're in the woods, I feel like the better they're going to be in the woods. And
now these Catahoulas, are they color? Are they like patchwork cats? Are they solid colors, or y'all got a mixture or whatever?
We've got a couple solids with brown trim. I guess the technical term I heard was a gout tray or something like that. The brown trim, honey trim.
Yeah,
something like that. Whatever.
And then
I got a couple of leopards and a couple of patchwork. I got a little bit of everything. We I think you can have a beautiful dog and a good dog, but we don't. We ain't here for the color.
I was just curious because there's so many patchwork dogs that are floating around.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that they're bad dogs by no means, because I got one I just sent. Josh Neff's got her right now out there working her, and man, she's beautiful. Really. Nate's got one. He's real dark colored. He's patchwork. Throw some beautiful puppies. Then we had which Chaos and Junior, they're more solid color dogs, old school, big head, big blockhead Catahoulas.
Hey, we got some block-headed Catahoulas.
Yeah.
We got half our line is that old school. I got a bitch with, my cousin's got a bitch with awful our male that's got a dang pit bull. You can tell she's got some bulldog in her ass.
Yeah, that's what I like. Now, you talking about dogs catching. Now, where do you want them to catch at? You know, like, is there a better place to catch than, you know, because like the hog hunting and stuff, you know, most guys want them to catch on the ear or up on the head anywhere. What about the deer?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If it was up to me, I don't care if none of my dogs catch. You can sit back and bay it all day long, and I've caught a lot more deer like that. But if you were going to catch, I mean, I'd rather if you go and either catch the neck or the back leg or the butt. But I don't care if none of mine catch. But I don't know how you choose that. You know what I mean? They either are or they aren't. They're going to be a bay dog or a catch dog, and I don't know how you pick a puppy that's going to be one or the other. You know, in the kind of dogs that I have.
I don't know.
It is what it is. You pick your dad. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know that you could do that in
right.
Other than like the American Pit Bull Terrier, like the game dog style dogs. You know, they're going to grab everything. They should. Or like a little terrier, a little Patterdale or Jack Russells, they're probably going to catch and grab when they're young. But that brings up the point is what's going to happen when they get older. Like, I feel like you're not going to be able to know that until you've done put all this time and effort into getting this dog to blood trail and recover.
Yep.
And then you find out whether it catches or bays.
So I can kind of, the kind of style dogs we got, we can kind of tell. I mean, they're all cow dogs, hog dogs, deer dogs. I mean, they're all versatile cur dogs, but I don't know. Some of the puppies, you know, are really hot and really wide. They're just fighting and grabbing, and you can kind of, or we've kind of said, I mean, that dog's probably going to be a catch dog, but I just don't know how you look at a whole litter and say, you know, this female is going to be a bay dog or whatever in the kind of dogs that we have. So it's kind of just been a little running, you know, I mean, we find out what they are and kind of fit them in place and run them for what they are, you know. They want to catch, that's fine. I'm good with the catch dog. I mean, that's fine. If you want to catch,
as long as they catch.
Let's go catch.
Yeah.
As long as they catch, I'm not out here to run them all day, all night long for miles. And, you know, it is what it is. You're going to have to do it sometimes, but, you know, I'm not out here nipping and playing nip. You know, we need to get the job done. I'd prefer you to bay, but if you want to catch, that's fine too. Like I said, I don't know how you pick one that does one or the other. We just kind of play the cards we're dealt with each dog. You know, that's kind of how we do it. They do a little bit of everything. Now, the bay dogs, you know, I want you to look like Goose out there. You know, if he's going to run away, you need to bite the tail and turn him around and start working on him.
Yeah.
You know, this not you're not just out there barking at the deer. That's not a bay dog. Like, you need to actually be holding the deer. You need to be holding the deer. I don't care what wind it is. If the deer's going to run away, you need to bite him on the butt and turn him around and start working on him again, keep his attention.
Either that or you better be ahead of him stopping him. One of the damn, you got to stop him, no matter what.
Yeah, so I don't mind whatever kind of dog you are. We'll work it out as long as you want to work. You know, if not, that just is what it is. Well, we can figure out the style. I'm okay with any style. I'd prefer a bay dog. But like I said, I'm okay with any style as long as, you know, we're out here trying to get the job done. So, in whatever way that is, and also it's got to be pleasurable. You know, I mean, it's all pleasure hunting at the end of the day. You know, for any kind of dog sport, competition or whatever. You know, at some point you're going to be pleasure hunting that dog for yourself, and it's got to be enjoyable for me, at least.
All right. Well, I got a couple more questions I want want to ask. I've been thinking on. So and I've asked a couple of other guys. So what's the biggest deer, body wise, and then the biggest deer, the biggest buck, as far as a rack, and then what's the oldest track?
Oh,
Yeah. Biggest body wise, biggest doe body wise, biggest buck body wise, and then biggest rack, and then what's the oldest track?
probably the biggest rack deer I've found I found a couple right at about 150 inches. I found one in Mississippi, and I found one in Georgia. Pretty cool story. A guy, he's a high school baseball coach right outside of Lake Hartwell in Georgia.
Yeah.
And he mounts deer on the side, and he went around. He was kind of doing a suburban bow hunting deal, and he went around and gave resumes or whatever, and got this cool piece of property in the park, and he shot this beautiful deer, probably 150 inches. I don't remember what he scored, a little over 150.
Man.
Called me, and I went out the next morning. He had gut shot him. I went out the next morning, and they had a park right on so he shot him along a creek, and he had, 20 acres permission. Shot him along this creek, and on the other side they had an HOA, probably 20 or 30 acres, and a neighborhood. And so we started tracking this deer, and this was another one. I had out of my dogs. I think I had 2 dogs out there, and we started tracking this deer. We get to the creek, and the dog goes straight over the creek. And at this point, I didn't know there was a walking trail, and I saw a guy. I mean, he looked like he was ready for a marathon. He was walking through, and I called my dog back. I'm like, man, I don't know. There's no way. Just come on back. I don't know. There's a walking trail right there. I just didn't feel right about it. And man, I kept turning my dog back. And finally, I was like, forget it. Go ahead. They went ahead. They went up about 70 yards up on a hill, and they jumped 2 does. And I'm like, man, golly, like, what is going on? They just jumped 2 live deer. I caught them back. Couldn't figure it out. And I finally walked up there, and this buck was bedded with 2 does.
Damn.
So they went to the dead deer, jumped the 2 does, and ran them. And I've had that happen several times. If you ever, jump a deer and they run and it's not the right one, restart right at that same spot.
Really?
And I've found the dead deer right there. There's been several times where I've had, and it's not the dog's fault. They're trailing a dead deer scent, and they get up there and 2 live deers jump and they run.
We did that identical thing last year. Had a good trail. Sent the dog. Dog goes down. He opens, and he only opens if he sees it or if he's running it,
Right.
And takes off, and it goes on a tear. I mean, 3 miles or better. And it's just like this big circle, this big loop. I said, man, he's running. It's like he's running on just a live deer. But we had all this scent right there, or all this sign where the deer had a good shot on him. And we asked the guy, was like, well, do you want to just walk down there? Because it was like 300 yards or something. And Nate had walked part of the way to one section. And I was like, well, we could go down there where he jumped him. And then he came to this deep spot in the creek. And it's like he hung up right there. And then he just came back, and the guy did not want to continue on. I was like, well, man, he could be down there on that creek. Well, he waited till deer season, and all it was, he wanted to deer hunt it some more. He thought we was going to push all the deer out. And so anyway, waited till deer season's over, and he goes down there, and he finds the deer right there by the creek, between where they jumped the deer and the creek. And it was so I was like, that deer was probably dead, bedded somewhere right in there. And that's because it was close to where he had jumped the other ones, and they could have been with him the whole time. They all could have been together, and that's just where he opened up, But he couldn't understand. He was like, well, how can you keep him from running live deer? I was like, he don't really run live deer that much, if there's a dead deer.
Yep.
I was like, he doesn't really have a reason to run live deer. We're not hunting deer.
That's right.
And, he couldn't really understand it. And it's hard to explain to some people, which I'm sure you've dealt with that a lot, trying to explain how it works.
Man, I'm trying to get better about it, but I've spent so much time. I spent 5 hours. Me and Biscuit, my partner, went out last year and turned out for a guy. And he told me, he looked at me in the first 3 minutes and says, "Cuz we ain't gonna find this deer. Look at Delta, we ain't gonna find this deer." And I knew the answer, and I spent 5 hours out there trying to. I mean, damn, I just wanted to find the dang deer, but at some point, you just can't spend 5 hours.
Yeah, you
out
got to
there.
call it. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm not saying call in the first 3 minutes, but maybe in the first hour.
Yep.
But it's just not going to happen. I've never found a deer. I've never found a deer that I have pushed my ass off for and then pushed the hell out the dogs that they said that we weren't going to find. I've never have. Not once.
Oh, I agree. I 1000%. But that's the human nature in us from wanting,
No doubt,
because we want to succeed and we want our dogs to succeed. And there's times where we pulled up and I've been like, this ain't happening. Like, like I said, it ain't happening. But we still do it.
Yep. So you're talking about the biggest doe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the biggest doe, but I got a cool story. We bought this male dog, male Catahoula. We call him Uncle Jesse. He's my partner's dog, and I keep him during the season, and I'll send him down about November for him and keep him tuned up. But we were in Kentucky. We got a place in Kentucky. We go up there about a couple of weeks a year, and me and a couple of my buddies, and we'll shoot a bunch of does out for the dogs. Well, it was September 6th, I think it was opening day. I had my buddy. I said, shoot one for Jesse. We ain't never put him on a deer. Let's put him on a deer. He's about 9 months old. Oh, and he'd been doing really good. Well, he shot one perfect. Got it on video and everything, man. I mean, just right behind the lungs, almost like liver gut perfect. Thinner body. Beautiful. There's blood all over the beans. And we took Jesse and little puppy I had fancy out there. We took him. And man, Jesse, he tracked it a little bit and came back and he sat down and looked at us. And we were like, man, what? Like, this ain't like, Jesse almost didn't make it out that bean field that night. Yeah. And I'm glad I had a good friend that talked to me. We talked about it. There was 3 of us, me, Ben, and Biscuit. And Jesse made it out. I was very frustrated. I saw the video and I saw the arrow, and I didn't have any of my older dogs with me, and I don't know. We went back to the camp, and Jesse made it home that night, and I got a trail camera picture of that dang doe alive with the hole in it,
really?
Straight through the gut. Alive, and I was like, there's no way, like, that dog was right.
Yep.
and
trust that dog.
Trust the dog. And I took the dog from that November. I took him. I ran him. I don't know. He ran 80, 90 tracks, something like that. And I sent him back down to Biscuit. And we had a lot of issues, but we put another year on that dog, got him to 2 years old, and he's a whole nother dog that we were, fixing to call it on at 1 year old, and just a whole nother year we gave the dog, and he's been a completely different dog. But he was right the whole time. I couldn't believe it, and unbelievable.
That's pretty funny.
that Uncle Jesse's time almost ended in that bean field, and he's gonna die with us today. Now he's a year did a lot on the dog. That taught me a lot too. But it was almost, we at one point we only had one dog, two dogs that could do it, and we weren't at the spot that we are now. That have a bunch that can do it, and they got all the heat, and they didn't get no rest, and they almost got over. I don't know what you want to call it, overworked or whatever, burnout. But that just was what it was. That's all we had. Now we can kind of give a dog a little more time and not expect so much out at a young age, because they all start at different times, and so thankfully we've got some dogs that we can let age a little bit. But at one point we just had what we had. We had to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that happens in a lot of scenarios. No matter what you're hunting, there's certain times where you have what you have. You try to make the best.
You got to go.
You got to use them.
That's right. Yeah, I mean,
trial by fire.
Out. That's it. I've ruined some dogs, man. And
oh yeah.
You ain't trying if you ain't ruining them. I mean, you can only learn so much. You've got to get out there and learn and try something.
Yes.
We go every night and we try something, and right or wrong, we're gonna learn something. We're very open-minded in dogs, and any advice we can get, any tips we can get, we're completely open. And I think that's the best way to be about these dogs is, be open-minded.
There you go. I think that's a good piece of advice right there, and a good tip. Myself, is just be open-minded. It took me a long time to get there. To be
a long time
to be fully open-minded, to be like, no matter what happens, I can accept it and I can move on. And it's taken a long time to get to that point. There's still some days where it really tests me. The other day I was outside doing something, and two pups were in the kennel just barking like lunatics. And I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, why are you sitting there barking? But you stop and think, I'm standing in front of you. They think it's time to go play.
That's exactly right.
So, it's like I had to back up a little bit and be like, okay, just calm down. 'Cause I don't like all that barking for no reason.
I don't either.
But
I don't either. I heard a guy say the other day, he was like, stop and think about, why is that dog doing something,
Mm-hmm.
And you like, I've got some really weird, like my best dog is very weird. And she's the kind of dog that if we were hanging out or whatever, she might be 20 yards away, behind the tree, kind of peeking around the corner. But I started to think about it, like a lot of the things she does is, could be looked at as smart. And then you kind of change your way you look at some things that dogs do. And, they might be a little smarter than you think.
Yeah.
And then that's, I don't know. I guess it's all about how you look at it.
Yep. That's one of the things where every dog's different.
Every dog's different. You will never get the same one.
No. If you could,
I wish.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you could, man, it'd be amazing. Then again, I don't know that it would be that. Yeah. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Because I've only had a few where I would I'd love to have this exact dog again. But at the same time, it's like, I get another one and I'm like, well, this one had a little bit different deal and it was a little better. So, it is what it is. Like I said, you got to work the dog in front of you.
That's the beauty of it. Work with somebody into your lead, and they all going to be a little bit different, but they all got their faults, but you can find what you like out of one. And I mean, it's all about what you can like and what you can put up with in their faults.
Mm-hmm.
But they ain't none of them perfect. I don't think. I've never seen one.
No, I haven't. I've seen some that were really good and way better than most. But
there's some awesome dogs out there, and that's the beauty of it. That you get to see it.
You know, I've talked about that before about the deal. I think we were talking to Lee Robinson, and it was about the difference in making excuses and making allowances. Because you can have a dog that's really, really good at 99 things, and then one thing, like just say it barks in the kennel.
Yep.
So, okay, you still keep this dog because it's the best blood tracking dog there is. You know, it does everything you want it to do except for shut up. And so, you know, you put a bark collar on him or whatever. You make an allowance.
Yeah.
Or you have one that you really like and it ain't worth a shit. And you make excuses for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I've had a couple of those where I'm like, I'm making excuses for this damn dog because I really like the dog. You know,
they end up yard dog.
Mm-hmm. And that's fine.
It's like
they got a place.
Yeah. It's like a relationship. Somebody told me, you know, it's nobody's perfect. You got to find the one that you can deal with their you know, their faults. You know, everybody's got a few faults. You got to find the woman or the man that you can you know, live with their few faults. And it's kind of like a dog. You got to find the one that you can live with their few faults. If you can deal with barking in the kennel, then, you know, that's one. If you can, that's one. That's kind of how I look at it. You know, they all got a few tendencies and faults, and it's just what we can live with in our lifestyle. It's what's going to work for us.
That's right. So you got any cool stories? Can you tell some of the listeners something crazy? Like,
yeah,
but not a lot of nudity. I don't want a bunch of nudity. I don't want to picture all that shit, Hunter. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you mean. So, I think it was 3 years ago, opening day in South Carolina, September 15th. We went and tracked a deer with neck shot. I believe I brought Finn. He's a blackmouth cur, tree and walker. He looks just like a blackmouth. I brought one of my Catahoulas, and I brought my lab, actually, one of my old labs that I retired. We cut loose on it, and they baited, I don't know, 200 yards. And we were right on Lake Hartwell. It's a big, beautiful lake. It's got a bunch of fingers, and they baited the deer. And by the time I got over there, I didn't know what was going on. I got over there and got to the bank, and they have, you know, like piers and docks. And so I don't know, the dock went out probably 20 yards. Well, they had a husband and wife eating, you know, steak dinner and drinking a glass of wine. And when I got over there, I looked and see my dogs there. Into their pier was probably 20, 30 yards, whatever it was. And my dogs were in the center of the lake, about 50. And all three of them they about had them under. And I said, oh, man. Oh, man, this romantic dinner just turned south. Oh. I hit that tone a couple times, and they started swimming back. And I said, well, I apologize to y'all. And they ended up having a bass fisherman come in, and he had a treble hook, and we hooked the deer and got him back up. But
that's was cool. You still recovered the deer, so.
Yeah, we got the deer.
The people weren't like they weren't like Karens or nothing where they didn't freak out too bad, did they?
They didn't freak out too bad, but it was just a lot.
Yeah.
A romantic dinner looking over, and you got three dogs on top of one, putting them under.
That's a nice lake. We rented a lake house.
Beautiful lake. In the beautiful blue water.
Oh,
it was something.
And all them dogs out there just blubbling him down. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and they got to watch the bay on the bank, which I didn't get to see that, but I listened to it. It sounded good, so they got to hear that bah bah bah, and then he went in the water. So I guess they saw the whole thing.
Yeah, you should. Hey, you know what you should do? You should have went over and told us like, hey, anytime y'all want to go track with me, y'all more than welcome to. Like, you see what it's like, you know, it's exciting. Y'all welcome to go.
It was. I mean, it was what it was.
Yeah,
It was what it was. I didn't know the situation was going on. It was I mean, it was the dog next door, and it
Wow.
it was what it was.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
pretty
probably
good.
the craziest one. That was probably I bait a couple of deer. I bait a deer in Georgia on somebody's front porch. I bait one in South Carolina on somebody's back pavers on their back porch. I try not to. I mean, it happens sometimes. You know, we have permission to go on the neighbors and all that for whatever times, but
well, you can't control where they're going, man. I mean, that's part of it.
No. I teach my dogs not to bark on posted land after dark.
Same with us.
No. But I mean, it is what it is. We try to do the best thing we can, and the safest way possible. Every situation is different. It is what it is.
The main thing is, how do you handle the situation once it arises? And like with the couple having dinner and all that stuff out there, that's a tough one there, because there's, those people could have just freaked out, went to raising 9 kinds of hell, called game wardens or cops or whatever, made a big scene. But apparently, you know how to handle situations, because it didn't turn into that, and you just try to talk to them, be cordial, be professional.
We really, really strive on. I mean, we're dog guys, we're a little rough, but
yeah,
we really try to be professional, look professional. I mean, we don't have the nicest stuff, the nicest dogs, but we try to look the part and be as polite and respectful to everybody as possible. I mean, you're out here having dinner, well, we're out here, doing a service for somebody,
mm-hmm.
and let's work together and move on about it. I hate that it happened. Is there anything I can do to help you, or whatever? If you need a deer track, holler at us.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We try to do the best we can. We give the best ever we can, and look as I'm not saying have the nicest stuff. Whatever you can do, just it shows who's putting forth the effort and who's not, and then that's what it is. And it usually works out. There's not many bad apples. We usually, I mean, for the most part, most people understand, and it's all good. And we really have everybody's pretty good. And we don't have many bad apples, which is really good. They're out there. It's gonna happen every year, and it's inevitable. And
mm-hmm.
as things grow, and as social media changes and everything else, it's gonna happen. But it is what it is. I guess we'll figure it out at that point and move on then.
Yeah, just weather through it and just keep moving. And you said y'all have a tracking group.
Yes,
what's on social media? What's the name of it?
So our tracking group on social media is South Carolina Network Trackers.
South Carolina Network Trackers. Okay.
South Carolina Network Trackers, and then we've got another page called South Carolina Tracking Dogs. We kind of post all our just whatever about the dogs or whatever. And then
mm-hmm.
I have a page. It's just called Wounded Game Recovery. It's just very basic. Anybody can come, just any kind of working dog, any kind of game recovery, promote who you want, kind of just a very open page as well.
I got you. I just want that way you could throw that out there, so maybe get some listeners check in and start following, and that way also, if might get some new clients out there.
Dixie Doggers, baby.
That's right. We'll put you out there, brother. We'll make you famous.
Hey, I'm telling you, my buddy sent me a video. He's farming right now, and I'll listen in the background, and I hear Uncle Pat screaming. He's got Dixie Doggers blaring. Them boys love some Uncle Pat.
Oh, yeah.
They said they have a real good time with Carter and Ron, and I got all the boys on Dixie Doggers.
Hell
It's
yeah.
funny.
That's
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
We
Appreciate it.
enjoy what y'all do, and hell, man, like I said, we're open minded. We've learned all kind of stuff and tried all kind of stuff just from stuff that we've heard on y'all's podcast. Like I said, I'll listen to one every morning for that project for 3 months.
Hell yeah.
It got me. That and a coffee got me through a lot of early morning drives.
That's why where we're at now. Like for a long time, man, it was one of those deals where we kind of wanted to be under the radar. It was like, you know,
Right.
and we don't want to be like, you know, a household name kind of deal, or like everybody knows the show and all that. It's like, I'd rather just, and then it got to where it just kept getting a little more popular. And then I'd get these messages. Then people would start calling me, just get my number. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know you. And they're like, hey, man, y'all need to put out some more episodes. Like, we've done listened to the same one 4 times. I'm like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
okay, bro. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, we don't do this full time. Like, we build houses, you know, we do some land management. We run dogs. Like, we got a lot of stuff that we do. And so, but this has become one of the main things that we do now in the past couple of years. We've been going strong for 4 years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're going for
I
4
believe so.
years. There's a few of them that's popped up, a few other podcasts that's popped up and went away. And there's a couple that's popped up and they're newer ones now. And I encourage y'all to go listen to them, check them out. You know, no, we're not selfish, and we're definitely, we want to see everybody succeed. I'm not going down on nobody. Ain't going to talk shit on nobody. And on that side of things, I'm going to talk shit about a lot of people, of course, you know, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But like, as far as like all these guys out here, there's so many people, the response it's overwhelming of how many people were like, man, we were on a tractor today and we heard this episode, and they've done listen to every episode that we've got, or somebody's driving a truck, you know, a big truck, 18-wheeler, or somebody's working in a shop, and I'll get a little video clip of somebody in a body shop, man. They got Dixie Doggers on, and the whole shop is listening to it. I'm like, dude, and here's the kicker. Some of that shit's in Australia. Some of it's in New Zealand. Some of it's in Germany. Dude, we had a guy send us a video, and we can't put it out because there's a whole, he had signed NDAs and stuff, but the Hadza tribe of Kenya, Africa, sitting around, they're translating and listening to Dixie Doggers. Bro, like I love it. I love it. That's what I'm saying.
They hunted monkeys with dogs.
Yeah, they have dog monkey, whatever. It's I don't know. It's insane.
I'm telling you, I have these boys on Dixie Doggers every morning at 4:30, son. We have a cup of coffee. They might be trying to sleep or not. It didn't matter. I had Dixie Doggers wide open, son,
Hell yeah.
for 2 hours.
Well, we're going to keep on pushing them out, man.
Absolutely.
Finding good quality guests. And I'll be honest with you, we have not had a bad shortage of it. And Nate stays busy.
No. It's been great.
And
it's been great.
And he still does the same. It's still the same way. I found out who I was interviewing tonight. We started the interview at 7:00. I found out at 6:40.
Hell yeah.
And normally he won't even tell me then. Normally it's when I walk in.
Yeah.
That's how much time I have to prepare.
You were a request. Somebody sent me.
Yeah, you were a request. Somebody
so
requested to get you on here.
So I try to get a couple of those knocked out of mine.
Yes, sir.
I was like,
Yes, sir.
And you actually answered back.
I burned them doggers into them boys so long.
That's right.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I love it. Man, that's awesome. It really is.
Well, man, we appreciate you hopping on with us tonight and, you know, sitting and talking and sharing your life and the events and stuff, because I mean, a lot of this stuff, there's some people I was very personal with it. I didn't really, believe it or not, I really didn't talk to a lot of people about it. So, I got to be one of those old bastards that was just kind of hoarded up all my dogs, and I didn't share, and I was selfish and stingy. And I noticed that about
I feel that too.
you know, I guess
I
it's about
feel that too.
what 10 years ago now. I guess somewhere in there, I started kind of getting more open about it.
Yeah, maybe 10.
A little more open. I didn't say I was free. Like
We
I
didn't
just got rid of dogs this year.
Yeah, so we didn't start
Last
getting rid
year.
of dogs till last year.
Yeah. Okay. So like,
It's been almost my life's work because it's been half my life, and I'm 25 or about to turn 25.
yeah, Nate's
So
like,
it's been since I was like,
Dad,
13.
you got 75 dogs. Let somebody have a dog. I'm like, no.
We ain't got to have all these.
But man, no, like I said, I do appreciate it. I'm really impressed with the amount of deer you guys track. That's a lot. And as far, and you know, and it's how much you guys are, how much work y'all putting in. Holy shit.
Tip my hat.
Yes, sir. And the miles that you're covering, like y'all are doing a good service to all the goat hunters out there. We appreciate it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love them. I'm one myself.
we eat the deer meat. So, but man, if
we enjoy it.
yeah, if there's anything that you need us for or whatever, just holler at us in the future. Or if you get something cool happens, holler back at us and we'll shoot the shit. You know.
And if y'all ever get up to South Carolina and need anything, holler at me. If y'all ever in my part of the world in Mississippi, y'all are. I got plenty of rooms, plenty of kennels, and plenty of land. So y'all come holler at us sometimes.
Oh yeah, we might do that. We might get over there and if you got some old pigs.
I know y'all know Logan. I don't know Logan too well. I got some friends that do, but we ain't 30 minutes from him.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we know where that's at.
Oh yeah.
We know where that's at. You said Centerville, didn't you?
I got a place in Centerville, and then I got a place in Dollarasa. That's where our camp's at. So Dollarasa on Highway 61, in between Natchez and Woodville. So our land goes. We got hills, and then we go down into the swamp and down in there. Logan's he's probably been all over our land. I know he has. He's a good fella.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what he is. They got really good dogs, and he's a good person.
Oh yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
I learned a lot from him. I don't even know him. We've talked on social media or whatever, and I've got some friends that know him. I think he actually has a litter mate to one of my Catahoulas anyway. Great guy, but we're right there. I think we're about 30 minutes from each other.
Cool. Yeah, we might have to set something up. I'll get together.
Hey, February, we're running every day. We're running something. We don't have no hog dogs, so.
Well, we got that part covered.
Yeah.
We'll just I have to call Logan to get his hog dogs because I ain't got none, but we can figure it out.
Hey, we can run something.
That's right. Well, all right, Hunter, man, I appreciate you. And
yes, sir. I appreciate y'all, boys. Good talking to y'all, man.
Yes, sir, man.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a faithful listener and turning everybody on to it.
Hey, that's right. Dixie Dogs, baby. Y'all, hey, keep in touch.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We will.
We'll do it. We'll see you, man.
Thank you, Hunter.
All right, brother. See you.
All right. That was pretty cool. I like that. It's pretty funny. I ain't gonna say funny, but it's like makes you feel good when you talk to somebody like that and they're like, he's got a big deal going. That's a big deal. 4 or 5 states.
The scale of it in every category.
700. Damn. He said he went on 140 something or 140 calls, put 93 on the gate. I mean, that's a lot. That's a nearly double from what most of the people we talk to. Just for him and as a group and as a whole, they all get along good. They all work together. That's pretty good because most of the time you're always in competition with each other. So my hat's off to that whole situation. Like I said, man, we appreciate having him on and we appreciate y'all listeners. Once again, if you have any ideas for guests or somebody you'd like to hear on, holler at Nate. You can holler at me and I'll relay the message. Nate's usually the one that sets everything up and does all the scheduling. So you can get it done a little better, a little quicker. You get with him. And like I said, we really appreciate y'all for real. We really do. And thanks to all the people that's been with us the whole time along the way. That's all I can say, man. I can say it a million times, but I don't mean it no more than I did the first time. I mean it with everything I got. Thank y'all. Till the next time, man, we'll see y'all.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that episode. If there's anything or anyone you'd like to hear on the podcast, or if you'd like to come hunt with us, don't hesitate to contact us at dixiedoggers01@gmail.com.